What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the DX9 Mini Superman, or their version of a Legend Scale Super Ginrai. I got this one from Dr. Diecast. Thanks for letting me take a look at your copy. And I think he also sent me some of the prior ones that we looked at from this line. And I think they're all in the Headmaster series. So we looked at Chrome Dome, Brainstorm, I think Double Dealer was the first one. And now we've got this guy. And they've been kind of mixed reviews, at least on my end. You know, the plastic is that softer Magic Square plastic. But this one happens to have a bunch of paint on it. So it does at least look a little bit better. You got that dark blue paint for the head, silver for the head crest, blue for the eyes, white for the face, white for the chest and the waist. This grayish paint here. This whole section for the chest and the arms is painted red, and then darker blue for the rest. Here's the back. It does have the classic Ginrai truck on the back look, which is accurate for the character. And you'll see this has a bunch of paint on it too. The smokestacks are a little bit of a nuisance, to be honest. Out of package, they might be loose like this. What you're supposed to do is push them down. They'll click in place. And then they're supposed to kind of lock in down here. And unfortunately, they just don't really lock in place that well. They sometimes move on you. This one I've got in there pretty good, but they're just a little bit flimsy and floppy. They do a little bit better in vehicle mode, but nice. Let's go over his articulation. Head goes up to there, down to there, rotates around, and you get side to side to the ball joint. Shoulders rotate around on a hinge, out to the side on a hinge. No ratchets on this, just FYI. Most of the Legends don't have them anyway. Rotation at the bicep. There is a butterfly joint, but again, the way it works, it's not really meant to be used. You could pull this out if you wanted to. You have a double jointed elbow. Gets you the full bend. And you can see this smokestack likes to get messed up. You have a rotation at the wrist. Actually, the wrists are on the ball joint, so it goes up and down, in and out, and rotates. There's actually a pin on the hands, so you can open up the fingers. Not typical for these figures. Coming out of the waist, you have waist rotation. You have ab crunch, gets you basically down to there. It's a double jointed, so you got to utilize both to get it down to there. For the legs, you have a hip skirt on the side and the front. I don't love the single hip skirt, but legs will kick up to there. I guess there's a back hip skirt, but it's one piece. Back to there, hindered by this truck piece, and then out to the side, up to there. Rotation at the thigh on a universal. Double jointed knee. If you bend the bottom knee first, or the top knee first, it doesn't look as bad, but then you bend this bottom knee, the kneecap opens up. It does look a little strange, but that does work. You have ankle tilts all the way out to there, toe tilts up and down. All right, for accessories, we actually don't get a blaster for this guy, but we do get Ginrai, his Powermaster. Does have blue paint, red plastic for the arms and thighs, and then black plastic for the lower legs. On the back, you do have the engine, quote unquote. He does have articulation. It's a little bit flimsy, but arms are on a ball joint. They can rotate around. Goes out to the side up to there. Elbow is the ball joint, gets you 90 degrees. Legs will kick up to there. Back to there, out to the side. Again, a little bit flimsy. They tend to pop off those ball joints. Ball joint in the knees, so it gets to 90 degrees, and a rotation at the ball joint. Nothing at the head. And he can, of course, stand next to Ginrai. There he is next to the New Age David, their version of Optimus Prime. And you can see he is a little bit taller, which I would expect. But, I mean, it is a legend scale. Now, the combined mode obviously going to be way bigger. There you go for comparison. Does fit in nicely with the legend scale. All right, let's get this guy transformed into his vehicle mode. So we'll start with the arms. Pull down on this. Fold this in. Close that up. Same on this side. Come to the top here. We're going to unpeg this. None of this feels really good, I'll be honest. It's a softer nylon plastic. So, just be careful as you manipulate things. But bring these out to the side. These will start flipping around on you. We'll lock them in place a little bit later, but for now, they're just going to move on you. No big deal. Bring back this section here. Open this up. And bring these to the outside. We can open up these. Down here, you'll open up these two panels, which will make up the bottom of the truck grill. We can also come to here, pull this away from the vehicle mode, open these up, and close that back up. We'll take this whole section, lift this up. This will rotate to the side and come down. And we want to shift this entire thing up. So bring your legs up. And then this will rotate back and peg in. And this is one of the issues with this thing. This panel comes undone way too easy. It's just on a little clip there. But rotate this around, and then this will peg back in under here. Right, just like that. All right, while we're here, we'll take care of the legs. So open this up, open this up. And this is on a little clip. So you have to pull that out. Out of box, they didn't have this engaged. So it was like this, which, makes the smaller size leg. Let me get this in here. So it was like this. But in robot mode, you want that expanded. Anyway, now that we have that closed, we're going to bring this up and around. Store that in there. Close that up on top. I'll do that again since that may have been a little confusing. Open this up. Flip open this piece right here. Flip this around. Bring your foot. Bring that around. Store that in here. Close that up. And there are your legs. Those are done. They don't peg together. Later I'll show you when you put the trailer in, that kind of holds it all together. All right. So things are coming together. You can open up this roof piece. Get that out of the way. And now we'll take care of this section here. And this section is kind of tricky, to be honest. So next we're going to open up these two gray panels in the chest. And they're pretty thin, so just be careful with them. But it is that bendy plastic, so you don't have to worry too much. And what we want to do is bring the arms in. We're going to rotate this upper body section. And just do that carefully. It's just this top part here. And then bring this panel out underneath the head. This head will rotate around. End up like this. We can pull this out. This is on a slider. Bring this up. And this whole section will come down and slide back in right here. It's kind of small, so it's hard to show you, but this is sliding in on this. It's sort of an up and in sliding joint, but that's going to slide up and in. These will fit over the legs and tab in on either side. So clip this in and clip this in. And that kind of locks the torso onto the body. And I know it looks a mess, but we're getting there. All right. So let's see, this will come down. We'll bring this arm piece around. This will come up. And let's see, yeah, open this up, bring this in. So this kind of meets up like this. Rotate the elbow and then accordion this down so it ends up like that. All right, same on this side. So we're gonna bring this up. So you end up with this on the inside. Bring this back. So it sits like this. We'll take care of these smokestacks in a second, but they should be rotated to the back. Accordion in your arm, or rotate your arm and then accordion that in. So they end up sitting, butted up next to each other. Now we'll bring in this front section. So make sure those are open. Bring this back. This will clip into the top of the arms. Give that a nice squeeze. This will clip into the back of that. This will come back, and you can see the white piece kind of folds onto the front as you're folding this down. So this is on a double hinge. So you're going to accordion this in on the double hinge. And one thing you got to be careful of is this needs to stay outwards. So we're going to use a spudger to help you. But get this collapsed in, get this folded in, and this should actually lock in place if you have it correctly. I guess I have something off. There we go. There we go. I got it now. So that's how it should look. For the smokestack, bring this up. There's a little nubbin right here. It's going to click into place. So pull it up and use that nubbin to kind of hold it vertical. Same on this side. I'm just going to show you. Bring this back. And again, make sure you've got this panel forward. Push that in. Rotate that down. Bring your wheel down. Both sides, they should be flush. This comes up and clips up and onto that nubbin. All right, there's Superman in alt mode. And pretty good looking. It's got a little bit of gaps here and there, but overall, nice looking truck. Translucent blue for the windows, light blue for the side, white stripe, white for the grille and bumper and headlights, yellow for the marker lights. The smokestacks are a little bit on the loose side, but this tab helps to hold it in place. They're not the best, but they work okay. It does roll on those wheels. Here's the back. Decent, relatively clean back here. Now, what is Powermaster or Super Ginrai without his trailer? So here's the trailer. You want it with the part that's jutting out, sticking forward. That will fit right in between the legs. There's two tabs in between there. So these will just fit onto those tabs. It actually helps hold the legs together as well. So there you go. There's the trailer. And he's still not complete because we need some weaponry. So we get these two cannons done in gray paint. These will plug in right here on the side. There's a little slot. And you can angle them upward a little bit, which I think is nice. So you get that look. And then if we come to the back here, we're going to open up the trailer. And there is some space back here. So if you wanted to put something in here, like a vehicle, the only thing I have available right now is this roller. He's going to fit in there just fine. Probably like a new age car, right? Carbot would fit back there. But we can also store these weapons. So these have a little circular peg. There's a peg with a slot for this handle. So you can get in here. If you need to, you can open it up, but I can sort of get it without opening it. Actually, let's just open it so I can show you how to do that. Open the sides, lift this up, and now you have a little bit more space. You can see the slot that it's going into. So get this pegged into that. And we'll get the other one pegged in as well. And then we can bring this back down. and get it tabbed in on the sides. And there you go. You got gun storage. We can also take this little guy, and he can stand right here. Just so happens, I don't know if it's intentional, it just so happens he fits right there. And you can close up the trailer, and it fits. And there you go. This hip skirt does fall off on occasion. I've had it fall off several times. You can just put it right back on, but it is an irritation for sure. It's supposed to just tab in and plug in right there, but it often comes off of this hinge. Well, there you go. You have everything stored in there, all the guns and the Ginrai, as well as the weapons inside. It does roll nicely. All right, and it wouldn't be Super Ginrai or Powermaster Prime without the Powermaster. So let's get this transformed. It's kind of annoying to transform, so I recommend if you're going to do this, just leave it in Powermaster mode. Don't just keep transferring back and forth. I'm not sure how much this would last. It's got that kind of soft plastic. Make sure the arm is straight. Hold this down. Bring the thigh back. That's going to plug into that little hand. It's tricky. It moves on you. So you really got to get this lined up and then tabbed in there. All right, I got that one. Rotate the thigh and bring that up. It'll sit right there. Same on this side. This side I've had trouble, but let's see if we can get it. If you do have, a lot of trouble, you can just unpeg the arm, the forearm from the arm, and then just plug it in by hand. But all right, there we go. Rotate this, bring it up. And now we are in Powermaster mode. There's 2 slots here on the front of the truck cab. So just get that lined up with the 2 pegs on his legs. Here we go. And there he is, fully powered up. I think that looks great, Like I said, there are some fiddly bits on the smokestacks, the Powermaster, and even this panel on the bottom. But once you get it together, it works and looks really good. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into his combined mode. So we can detach the trailer, just pull the legs apart a little bit, and set that aside for a second. We're going to fold down on the legs on this joint here. And then you're going to fold in on these. Be careful with these. They come off the pegs pretty easily. And once you fold that, you're going to fold these to the outside. And then we're going to bring the entire legs up and have it sit like this. You can bring this back down. And they'll just tuck in there. They don't bother you anymore. Once you put them there, you can forget about them. But up until now, they've been kind of a nuisance. All right, that's ready for combined mode. So set that aside. We're going to unplug these guns because they're going to go into different spots in combined mode. Set those aside. We can open this up and we'll remove these 2. And if you've got Ginrai in here, take him out, obviously. I have him on the Powermaster on the engine. Set those aside, and we'll work on this now. Open up this panel and this panel. Fold this back and tab it in back here. Same here. And we can do the same thing on this side. Fold this back, tab it in. It is that softer plastic that Magic Square uses, so just be aware of that. It feels soft, but it seems to be resilient so far. All right, you're going to unplug from here. You can also unplug from here. We'll come to this front section. We're going to untab this shoulder pad here, and that'll allow you to fold this down. It kind of loosens the whole thing, but we're basically folding this out and down. Same for this side. Fold this shoulder pad down, and that will free up this whole section. So fold that down and stand it up, and I can continue working on this. Here's how we're looking. We're going to accordion this up, bring this in. There's a slot and a tab right here. Bring this up, fold this in, clip that in place, And then this will clip in on the top. And then we can bring the arm up on this hinge, rotate the arm around, bring this up, fold this down, flip out your hand, and we've got one arm done. So same on this side, I'll go a little faster. Bring this in, tab that in here, flip this down, rotate this around, hinge this up, bring this up, fold out your hand, and that's ready to go. All right, now, just to get it out of your way, I just flip this up here. We're going to end up, actually, why don't we just do it? So flip this out. This will rotate around and sit back here. Bring the head out. This will clip into here. And then bring this up and just let it sit right here for now, because we got to obviously get the core robot in there. I just want it out of your way. And we got to do some work here. So separate the legs from each other. And we're going to take this and we got to bring the knee down this way. And it also is on a slider, so you can see here. Slide it in. And then bring this down and plug that in right there. For this back part, we're going to rotate this up and peg it in on the back. Leave this panel out because we're going to end up putting that in. This will come around. Make sure this is tabbed in. It'll come around and sit right here on this side. There's a clip that you have to fold out. All right, go ahead and fold this in. We'll bring this around. There's a small tab right here that will plug into a slot on the inside of this. So bring this around, tab that in, make sure this is locked in. This will come down and plug in down here. So bring this all the way down and give that a little push. This panel will come down. There's two puzzle piece tabs that will clip in on the outside. So that's how we're looking. All right, I'm going to do the other side just because. Now we can finish this up. So bring in your core robot. That's going to fit right here. You can see where the wheel wells will sit. So it's pretty clear that this fits right here. So get that in place. You should see that sit perfectly in there. Bring this down. You're going to accordion down that black piece while you bring this forward. And this will come and settle in. You can see the wheels fit right into these grooves on the front. Right. Once you get that down, bring this panel down. There are two tabs for this to go in. They don't fit perfectly, but once you get this side panel in, there's two pegs. You're going to two slots on the shoulder pad. So bring this in. Make sure you get both. Lock that in, and then hold this down on that peg. And then bring this in and tab that in. All right, there is Superman in his combined mode, Super Ginrai or Powermaster, however you refer to him. And it looks pretty good. You know, the amount of paint on it definitely helps. This full combined mode body is also fully painted, just like the core robot. So the red, the gray, the blue, all the little details and accents you see, it's all paint, and it looks really good. Here's the back. The hitch does sit like this, but that is accurate to the character. So it's a little bit loose. I wish it tabbed in, but it's fine. It doesn't really bother anything. The smokestacks in this mode do kind of just sit in here, and they don't really bother you. So in this mode, it's not really an issue, but I just found that in other modes, it does kind of get in the way. But yeah, overall, it's a very nice looking version of Powermaster or Super Ginrai. Let's go over the articulation. Head is on a ball joint, and let's just get in close. You can see it's a very nice looking head sculpt. It gets up to there. because they have a cutout on the back of the head. Down to there, sometimes this head comes off. It's a little bit on the loose side. It does have a swap out face gimmick. I'll show you that in a minute, but side to side, and does rotate all the way around. Shoulders can rotate around on a friction hinge out to the side. You can get this out of the way. It'll get all the way up to there. You have a drop down hinge here on the shoulder just due to the transformation. Rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbow gets you the full bend. Rotation at the wrist. You have individually articulated, the bottom 3 fingers are connected. They have 2 pins. So those can curl down. The top finger has single pin, so he can't point, and the thumb is on a ball joint. So you can't get him, pointing, leading the way. Not too bad hands, especially for a legend scale. They usually don't have any articulation, to be honest. Rotation at the waist. It's a little bit loose in this direction, but it works. Ab crunch is very tight, so I recommend you hold here. You'll see there's this joint here. But that's pretty good. That's pretty good for combined mode. Has a nice ab crunch, double jointed ab crunch in there. Hip skirts on the front and the side. The side is connected to the back hip skirt. Leg will kick up to here on a friction hinge. Nice tolerance on that. Back to there, nice tolerance on that. Out to the side. All those hold pretty well. Rotation at the thigh. This one, it does get a little hung up here, so you got to angle it out a little bit, and then you can rotate. This is a fully painted surface, so just be aware of that. Double jointed knee gets you the full bend. It's a kind of an ugly knee, but it does give you the articulation, full articulation. And this little tab here just fits back into place. So that kind of solidifies his stance if you have it straight. You have toe tilt, really, for the ankle tilt. It's not really an ankle. I prefer that instead of having a cut here where it breaks. You just have it on the toe. It looks a lot better that way than breaking up the side of the leg. For accessories, we do get the classic Powermaster Prime weapons here. You can plug these into the shoulders. I found this interesting, these angle upwards. That's pretty cool. Not a lot of Powermaster Primes can do that. That's kind of neat. And you can also angle them because they're on a rotational hinge. You can rotate them up a little bit, get a nice pose out of them. We also get his blasters done in black plastic. Unfortunately, those don't fit in the hand of the core robot. They do fit in this hand. There's a little slot right here, and this will peg back into there. Close the fingers around it, and close the thumb around it. And he holds on to those very securely. And they look really good because the pointer finger kind of looks like it's on a trigger. So I like the way they did this. So there you go, fully armed up. Really nice. All right, we also get an alternate face for this guy. Like I mentioned, this front of the head likes to come off really easily, but slide this off and you come to here. We're going to slide off this existing face, and you might need a spudger or something to get in between here. I'll pop this off, and this one is done. Actually, maybe you can push through here. There we go. This one's done in white with blue eyes, and the alternate is done in gray with blue eyes. So if you want more of the US Powermaster look, you can put on the gray face, at least I think. And now you have this look. I think more people would like that. All right, for size comparison, there it is next to the New Age David, their version of Optimus Prime, and he towers over him. I love the size of this, even though it's legend scale. I think, Powermaster should be bigger. And when the MPG came out, I always felt like it was just a little undersized. It wasn't big enough. This feels like a souped up Optimus Prime. It's very, very good. I think if you had the Magic Square, it's a little bit taller than this guy, I believe. So it'll probably come up to maybe his waist. But either way, I like the larger size on it. So final recommendations on the DX9 Mini Superman. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I'm going to recommend it. When I first looked at the core robot and during the beginning of the review, I kind of was feeling negative about this figure, especially because just loose things like the smokestacks in the core robot and some of the panels, like the hip skirt panel in the core robot. But once I combined it, all those issues went away because the core robot's just in the chest and the smokestacks are kind of hidden away and they're not a problem anymore. And this mode is really good. You know, the articulation's well done. It's fully painted. It's got the right accessories. I like the alternate face so you can get the Powermaster Prime US look or the Japanese look. You know, it works very well in this mode. I think it also works well in the truck mode. I think the trailer and the cab, as long as you've got those smokestacks locked in, you know, that looks pretty good too. So it's really the combined mode is the strength of this. The core robot is definitely the weakness of this. But I do recommend it. If you're looking for Powermaster Prime and the Legend scale, this is the one. It's a good one. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
TM Reviews. What's up, YouTube fans?